Yeah, I hear you. I haven't reviewed Conway restaurants in a while. I've been busy, but I promise I'll get back to eating delicious barbecue, decent Mexican, and horrendous Chinese food soon enough. Plus, an Olive Garden just opened up here. But for now, let's blow this jerkwater burg, see some of America, and review some restaurants from sea to shining 4 states away, because it's road trip time.
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now.
Our very first stop was at Cookout. It's a fast food drive-thru chain mostly found in the South. And if you don't know, then brother, you just don't know. Imagine it's late at night and you're starving, and let's consider our options through the lens of an analogy. You could go to McDonald's, which is like hooking up with that ex you occasionally throw a bang to. Dependable, reliable, knows just when to spit in your mouth and tell you you're worthless. Then there's 7-Eleven, which is like getting a handy from a meth addict behind the 7-Eleven. There's Taco Bell, which is like sticking your hog in a wall socket. And then there's Cookout, which is like running into your high school crush who's somehow gotten even hotter since you last saw her. And afterwards, she gives you a $500 Amazon gift card. That's Cookout. Their burgers are as good as you'll find from a drive-thru, especially for the price. Instead of meals, they have trays, which come with 2 sides. These sides include hush puppies, corn dogs, or even chicken quesadillas. And they're good. They're not earth-shattering cuisine by any stretch, but for the price and the time of day, it's incredible. Make sure you hit one of these up if you ever find one. 9 out of 10.
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now.
The next day, we stopped at Buc-ee's. I bought a t-shirt, which is now my second Buc-ee's t-shirt. But here's the thing, this was our 3rd time going on a Buc-ee's adventure, and aside from the shirts, we have yet to find anything that we even liked. This time we got 2 different barbecue sandwiches, and they were both pretty terrible. It was sickeningly sweet, and if that's your kind of barbecue, this might be great for you if you're on the road, but miss me with that shit. Their coffee is also decidedly average, and the store is an absolute madhouse. They're always busy, and when I say busy, it's busy the way war is busy. People are just scurrying about with these looks on their face like they can't believe what they're experiencing, and you can practically hear rescue helicopters in the song Fortunate Son. 10 out of 10 mascot and great customer service, but if you ever need to stop and there's a Love's nearby, just go there instead and get some Chester's chicken. 4 out of 10.
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now.
Last year we were visiting family and were taken to a neat little patisserie called Tous les Jours. Well, we were just in Baltimore and visited a neat little patisserie called Tous les Jours. Turns out there's a bunch of them and they're pretty good. They sell breads, pastries, cakes, and some damn fine coffee with a ton of options. Check one of these out if you ever catch one. 8 out of 10.
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now.
We grabbed some pastries and bread for the family Thanksgiving, but we're then feeling peckish, so we went to Bonchon, a chain that specializes in KFC or Korean fried chicken, and which has more than 300 locations worldwide and more than 100 in the US. We grabbed a couple lunch special boxes which came with both the soy garlic and sweet spicy wings. Let me first say that the spicy wings there are no joke. Nothing obscene, but not anything to scoff at either. Overall, they had a ton of flavor and that crunch you associate with Korean fried chicken. Pretty decent, 6 out of 10.
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now.
Now this is what you're all here for. A review of an Italian restaurant found in a strip mall just outside Baltimore. There's a famous Thai restaurant located in a strip mall in Las Vegas. It's legitimately considered one of the best Thai restaurants in the entire world. Point is, don't ever underestimate what you can find in a strip mall. So you go into Mama Roma and there she is. The woman herself, talking way too loudly and occasionally shouting words that sound like Italian profanity at people in the kitchen. And in the kitchen, they're pumping out some of the best Italian food you're likely to find. My brother-in-law got pappardelle with mushroom and marsala, and it was excellent. His wife got the bolognese, which was excellent. I got the Alfredo. It was outstanding. But be advised, this is one of those places where you can easily order way too much food, and Italian doesn't usually travel well. They hook it up in a big way, so maybe order 1 pasta for 2 people and save room for the tiramisu. 9 out of 10.
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now.
Quick detour to give a shout out to the Holiday Inn in Philadelphia, which took the title away from the Holiday Inn in Kansas City as the biggest piece of shit hotel I've had the misfortune to stay in. We were there for 2 days, and it was truly astonishing how many ways they found to profoundly disappoint me. So let's count them. 1. They have a valet, and you don't get a say in the matter. Also, they are incredibly slow and treat you like you're a piece of shit for making them do anything. 2. You know how hotel room doors shut automatically? Ours didn't. Neither did anyone else's. I noticed this when I got off the elevator. I could have just walked into any number of rooms. So on Sunday morning, I stepped out into the hall and was treated to what sounded like a Bang Bus video being filmed. This couple were fucking getting it. 3. You know how in almost any chain hotel, they have complimentary coffee in the lobby? The quality usually ranges from terrible to dog shit, but it's always there in the morning and it's always free. Well, at the Holiday Inn in Philadelphia, if you ask the front desk about coffee, they'll disappear for a minute, come back, hand you a cup of dog shit coffee and a bill for $6. 4. Want to take a hot shower? Not at the Holiday Inn in Philadelphia you don't. Cold showers only. 5. Want to watch TV or use the internet? Not at the Holiday Inn in Philadelphia you don't. It goes out, constantly. Pretty astonishing, isn't it? Oh, I forgot to mention, I accidentally got off the elevator on the first floor and it honest to God looked post-apocalyptic. Graffiti and drywall everywhere. I stepped off the elevator and a cleaning lady with an Eastern European accent peeked out a door and yelled at me for being there. You go! Wrong floor! What the fuck?
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now.
I only had time for one pizza and one cheesesteak in Philly, and on this trip I decided to give Angelo's a shot. And holy shit, was it ever busy. I'd never seen anything like it, and I never hope to again. This speaks nothing of the quality, but I'm a slower, lower southern man now. I have no desire to stand shoulder to shoulder with 50 people for 45 minutes just to get dinner. We got a margarita pizza and a cheesesteak to go, and when it was finally ready, we raced back to the hotel. And I learned a valuable lesson, because even though we had the car running and booked it, it was still too late. If you ever go there and get pizza, just take it outside and eat it right there on the street, because inside of 15 minutes, the pizza was cold. It was some of the best pizza I've ever had, but it was cold. The cheesesteak was top tier and thankfully still warm. I'm a proud Philly boy who loves a good cheesesteak, but the issue I have is that the flavor is either really beefy, like Jim's, or really cheesy, like Ishkabibbles. Angelo's finds that nice balance where the strong flavor of beef fat is nicely cut by the sharpness of the American cheese. I do have to deduct some points though, because as weird as this sounds, the bread was too good. See, good bread is good bread, but sometimes lower quality bread makes for a better cheesesteak. I understand they get their bread from a bakery and it's this, that, and the third, but this is a cheesesteak. If the bread is too hard and crusty, it doesn't soak up the grease. So I honestly wished I was eating this cheesesteak on a simple Amoroso roll. Still very good though, 8 out of 10.
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now.
The next morning we went to the Penrose Diner, one of the oldest restaurants in the city. I have a deep affection for diners, and this one was just okay. After my shitty $6 Holiday Inn coffee, I was looking for something better, and this was actually about the same. Which was a shame because this place had all the markings of a great diner. A dessert case in the lobby, a menu the size of a small phone book, with classic diner items that only old people order like grilled liver and onions. But it was all a little on the bland side. I believe you can judge a diner purely on their hash browns, and these told a decidedly underwhelming story. 6 out of 10.
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now.
Okay, listen up you southern rubes. You all do a lot of things well, but I'm now going to tell you where you come up well short. Gas stations. Because while you may have your buc-ees and your loves, they don't hold a candle to a Wawa or even a Royal Farms. Down south you may have 1 or 2 types of coffee and maybe someone makes a fresh pot every couple of hours. In Wawa, there's 5 to 6 types of coffee and someone gets paid to make fresh batches all the time. So it's always hot, always fresh. There's also people making deli sandwiches all the time. Hot sandwiches all the time. Apparently they even have pizza now and I've heard it's pretty decent. Yes, pizza from a gas station. And if you go in the morning, they have breakfast sandwiches that aren't complete balls. They're damn good, all things considered. Wawa isn't anywhere near what it once was, as is usually the case when a company expands, but they absolutely step on any gas station in the South. 8 out of 10.
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now.
Then we have Wawa's little brother, at least in the Delmarva area, Royal Farms. There was once a time when they were neck and neck in terms of quality, but everything I've seen from them has fallen off a cliff. They're known for their fried chicken, which is prepared using a pressurized deep fryer similar to how Chick-fil-A makes theirs. The problem is that they aren't even close in terms of quality. You step into a Royal Farms and the whole place just smells of grease. That shit gets into your nose and stays there well after you've left. They also used to be right there with their coffee game, but now they use these automated machines to try and simulate fresh coffee, and it tastes like shit. Also, you're far more likely to be shot in the face at a Rofo. I've heard stories about a location in Salisbury that the employees refused to come in because they got robbed so often. Hail Wawa, boo Rofo, 3 out of 10.
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now.
Let's close things out with precisely what you think of when you go to Philadelphia. Ramen and poke bowls. Pokebury is a chain that specializes in sushi and ramen, and you can find them in a half dozen major cities. We shared a tonkatsu ramen and a poke bowl, and it was pretty good. I'm genuinely starting to wonder if my poke experiences are forever ruined having lived in the Pacific Northwest. But this lacked something I can't quite put my finger on. The ramen, while plenty garlicky, was lacking that rich, porky flavor you associate with tonkatsu. They're also surprisingly skimpy with the chashu. I'm sorry, but for $16, I think 3 pieces is a little ridiculous. Overall, the ramen was nowhere near what I've had in New York or even Portland, and the poke was nowhere near what I've had in Hawaii or Washington. 6 out of 10. That's it, and I'm back in the AR, baby. New restaurant reviews that'll be a bit more local in a week.